Is it possible to destroy 247 churches in highly populated areas on clinical precision? People are being killed out in the open, cold-blooded murders, police stations looted, army vehicles looted, and if you don't act, that gives a sense of impunity that we can do whatever we want. Who has made the Indian army puppets in Manipur? Now, this is what concerns me as a journalist, as an Indian. BJP has bitten more than it can chew in the Northeast.
Today, we have a very special guest with us. It is none other than the talented international journalist, Mr. Anto Akkara. Mr. Anto Akkara played a very crucial role in bringing the truth behind the Kandhamal conflict. His articles, his books played a very critical role in bringing the exact faith of Christians there in Kandhamal. He has bagged many international awards. Recently, he was the winner of St. Titus Brandsma Award. We all know that St. Titus Brandsma was killed in Nazi concentration camp because he criticized Hitler regime. As we all know, the killings and violence in Manipur is still going on. Mr. Anto Akkara was able to visit Manipur. We are going to ask him what is exactly happening in Manipur. What is the exact truth behind the Manipur conflict? Mr. Anto Akkara, hearty welcome to this program. We know that the conflict in Manipur was started in May 3rd, 2023. In the initial days, many media reported that the violence, the main reason behind the violence was the ethnic conflict between the two communities.
Yes.
But one of the first report came from you regarding that the Meitei churches are also getting attacked.
Yes.
When that report came, especially in Kerala, the discussion regarding the Manipur conflict took a drastic change. Now the discussion is concentrating on a point regarding the targeted attacks against the Christian communities there. My question is that, where do you got that information regarding that the Meitei churches? We all know that the Cookies churches were attacking the initial days, but
Yes.
Where do you got the information regarding the attacks against the Meitei churches there?
Yeah, it is accidental. As a journalist, you keep your eyes open. So I was there. I went around. I went to Churchandpur. First I went around the big churches destroyed in the heart of Imphal. Big, huge ones.
Okay.
Colossal destruction is there. And then I went around. Then meanwhile, there were some meetings. I can't give all the details because sensitive information, in the sense, people are scared for their life. So then came a group of people from the Meitei Christians, their leadership called Meitei Christian Council. They shared that, during this violence of, first called the initial time, May 3rd night and 4th night, 247 churches were destroyed, our churches. So that was never heard before. So the fact is that, see, there was a Cookies was saying we are 40 churches there, because whatever that was Cookie was targeted. Similarly, whatever that was Meitei was targeted in the Cookie areas, both sides. We cannot say one is better or the other. That is more or less equal. In the sense, the targeting was vicious. Because it's an ethnic element is there. But what the Meitei leaders said is shocking. Because if this is a conflict between Cookies and Meiteis, why should the Meitei churches be singled out? Now, my problem is different. I'm different in the sense, if you go deeper, if you look at it, you analyze it very carefully. Is it possible to destroy 247 churches in highly populated areas on clinical precision? So that means there is elaborate preparation. There is what we call in our political language surgical strike.
If it was attack against Christians, why the Naga churches were not targeted? Because in the Imphal area, I think the Naga churches were there, Kuki churches were there,
Yes.
Meitei churches were there. But only Meitei churches. Why happened so?
No, that is what I am saying. That there is an agenda. So what I sent out a note to. I mean I did something extraordinary.
Okay.
I was there for a whole week. I was distressed seeing the situation. My point is, see, the Meitei churches were attacked, and so there is, I said, clinical precision, and there should have been elaborate planning. Now, to destroy these churches, you should allow people. I mean, what you call assign people. No, you should go there. You should do this and all that. So, study of churches have been done, which is Meitei and which is not. That is why the Naga churches were spared, right?
Yes, yes.
Now, okay. Now, the point is, why? That question is, but that comes, so in my note, I said, Hindutva agenda under the cover of the ethnic conflict. What is Hindutva? Hindu nationalism means anything which they perceive to be opposed to Hindu nationalism is targeted. So, Meitei is why now this is where you have to understand larger picture.
But the Meitei communities, they are targeting, especially the Meitei extremist group like Meitei Lipuns, Arambai Tangal, especially the Arambai Tangal extremist group. They want the Meitei community to go back to their cultural heritage, that is the Sanamahism, not Hindutva.
So I tell you, here comes the problem. Okay. See, if Sanamahism is there, that is there. But Arambai Tangol does not say, you go come back to our thing. I mean, Sanamahism. This is being, these groups are projecting it as Hinduism. That is comes the one danger, big danger, which is where I have problem with our national media. Now, you know, Reporters Sans Frontiers, Reporters Without Borders, they give a rating of all the media worldwide. Latest media is shocking and a shame for Indian democracy, which prides itself as the largest democracy on the world. You know why? Pakistan is ranked 151. Afghanistan is ranked 152. India is ranked 161. The media freedom, the kind of coverage. Now, see what has happened. Manipur was in darkness. I mean, it is still in darkness. And there is no internet, there is no free flow of information or anything. Okay. On the contrary, in the national media, India's national, I will call it national media, nationalist media. Okay. You call it the jingoistic nationalistic media controlled by vested interests and industrial lobby. They create a narrative which they follow, enforce, and forcefully spread through the networks, whether it is electronic TV, whether it's print media or not. So, first narrative was that cookies are all. I mean, I'm not siding with the cookies or anything. I got a terrible time with them. That is another story. So, my point is that a narrative is this. Manipur conflict is because of the the troublesome cookies. Cookies are all terrorists. There are illegal copy trade and all this business. There is immigrations from Myanmar and all those places. So, the Meiteis have been objecting to that. That is one side. On the other side, the national media also. Now, here comes the role of the RSS. The RSS came out with a, I mean, I don't understand why should they make such a statement. The organizer is the mouthpiece, English mouthpiece of the RSS. Organizer comes out with a statement, said that this is with the support of churches. I mean, what on earth you mean? This violence between cookies and Meiteis is with the support of the churches.
But on May 3rd, regarding that solidarity march organized by the tribal students group, the church openly gives support to that.
See, I mean, we must see, now there is a lot of difference with church, how you understand. Mainland is a church and it's a Catholic Bishops Conference of India, CBCI, or Kerala Council of Churches, means that is church. I mean, there is a wider, in Manipur, there is no monolithic church structure. They are all mostly splintered denominations and all that. Now, I don't know which group. There is no church body organization that can control the tribal groups of Manipur. There are so many. Okay.
Church has no control over the tribal people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because churches are in the, somebody called secondary or third realm. the tribal groups or these organizations on the top. So it can never be said. No person in his senses would agree. Those who know Northeast would say this is with the support of the churches. What is the role of the churches in that? I mean, the question is, this gives a larger agenda. If you see, now there is one big, we are personal, nothing personal against this man.
Okay.
The Sheshadri Chari has been the organizer editor for long. He has been member of Rajya Sabha. He writes a column. And then comes a series of articles in the media saying that, you know what, all these arguments are Sheshadri Chari is bringing. And now then comes all this, what you call, the secular so-called nationalist media, which they are saying, Northeast has been leased to the Christians by Nehru 60 years ago. Again, all the problems are put at the feet of Nehru. So, this is Christian conspiracy. Now, how did this? So, the reality is, now I feel, as a journalist, this is called the lady that protests too much in King Lear, Shakespeare's King Lear. What does that mean? I'm not guilty. That is the language RSS is speaking, because they have a role in this, because it is impossible without an agenda to have this kind of a, to destroy 247 churches over 2 nights. Why? You ask the question. Now the Meiteis, it's a fact, but that Meiteis, number of Christians among Meiteis has been growing.
Okay.
So maybe RSS is alarmed. And there could be a very possible reason is that, the Hindu nationalists have many experiments. In 1990s it started. Gujarat was known as the Hindutva laboratory. Hindutva laboratory means where you conduct the experiments. And there are all kind of experiments. Even dead bodies were dug out from cemeteries. The dance violence happened. All those things happened. So, Hindutva laboratory, later it became Hindutva colony. It's just well established. Nobody can now, see the situation there. It is 100% Hindutva base.
You are pointing out the RSS agenda behind this Manipur conflict.
Yes.
But my question is that the BJP is already aiming for Congress Mukt Bharat. They are trying to enter to the Christian community, especially in Kerala. They have won in Goa. They have make a stronghold in Northeast state. But if they implement such a kind of Hindutva agenda in Manipur, it's really a setback for them in Northeast state, also in Goa, also in other states where the Christians are playing a majority.
I cannot say why BJP is doing, but we can see possible reasons. Because this is an expansionist agenda. They want to perpetuate what they have established. So what is the reality there? How did they get this clear majority, 31 out of 60 seats? Because they have made a deal with the Kukis. Kukis they are 9 tribes. Okay. British gave the name, otherwise they call the Chin and all that. We'll leave that part alone. The Kukis as a community, you say with them, they are all Christians. Entirely Christians, 100% Christian. Okay. And BJP made a strategic win by, they made a deal. How do you make a deal? How you make the deal. So it is a fact. Okay. They made a deal with the Kukis and they have got 7 Kuki Christian MLAs as BJP. Okay. So they have made an inroad into the Kuki Christian base. They so feel confident. Okay. Now, extension of the political thing is Manipur, 60 assembly seats, 40 are from the Imphal Valley, okay, where the Meiteis are the majority. Okay. Where the Meiteis are overwhelming majority, no other candidate can win, practically. Okay. There is one candidate I met, it's a Dalit candidate, is a Christian. He has won from Imphal Valley. So practically it is called, so Sangha, I would say Sangha Parivar. There is an attempt by the Hindu nationalists altogether, including different networks, to project the Meiteis as Hindus. Of course, there is a linkage is there. The king has been Hindu. That is historical. It has been going there. But the religion is called, the indigenous religion of Manipur is called Sanamahism. But now there is, in the application forms, you can write Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist or Sanamahism also. It is, official. But with this, what they call fostering and nourishing of these networks like Arambai Thangol is a very, very vicious outfit. They more resemble the ISIS, like because your black clothes and their style and their marches is like a military march. You see in the videos? So Arambethangol and the other one is called Meitei Lumpun. These two together have been at the forefront of this violence very much.
Is
They
there-
looted the police stations. So they are more militant. They have looted even the army, army weapon, and then you fighting the army.
From the other side also, the cookie extremist group has also got modern weapons like AK-47,
Yeah.
zippers and all. So some are blaming that they are getting weapons from outside India too. It's a serious matter of concern.
No, I mean, I now going to go to exactly who got what from where. Naturally, in conflict zones, the states, neighboring states play a key role. Wherever it is, because international business, good business, whatever it is. But the issue is that's not what I'm discussing. Of course, cookies are armed. It's a fact. Cookies are armed. That's a fact. Now you go to Naga, there is called a Naga networks. Many of them are armed. And it's only that. Northeast has 400 tribes. All independent, passionately proud of their, what they call the anthropological origin. That is called tribe. So they have their distinct features now. BBC has come, I was reading a BBC report today. So it says there are more than 400 tribes in the Northeast. So it has been and it has its share of problems every now and then. So we cannot single out this, it's between Meiteis and now Assam has Kokrajar, Bodos and Assam. Ahom, all these, everywhere these problems are there. Even Arunachal, there are different tribes fighting each other. So these kind of elements are there. So basically they are warrior groups. They they got their arrows and all those things. Technology has changed. They get latest weapons. But my problem is, let us for a minute forget about who is doing what and all. Where is the Indian state in Manipur? We are coming to the 2 months mark, 253, 55 days. Where is this pathetic face of Indian democracy there? Where is the state? Where is the police? Now, police practically is devoid of all weapons. All the weapons have been looted. And the government is not arresting anyone. It's very funny. I was there for more than a week. Then I was camping outside more than a week. So for 2 full weeks, I was closely monitoring what was happening there. Hardly any arrest. People are being killed out in the open, cold-blooded murders, police stations looted, army vehicles looted, and if you don't act, that gives a sense of impunity that we can do whatever we want.
The state machinery has failed.
Yes. So this is what I seen in Kandhamal. So this is a parallel on the one side. And on the other way, they are going like executioners. For example, these people, they fought the Assam rifles and see, Home Minister Amit Shah went in a desperate bid to, he was very late, of course. That's what were they doing all these days? When it went up in flames, the first duty of the minister, Home Minister and the Prime Minister is to visit and monitor and hold urgent meetings and find a solution.
But on the second day after the conflict, they have ordered for the shoot-at site. The government has ordered for the shoot-at
No, that's what I think. On the second day, there was a shooting in the Surchandpur side because the cookies were objecting to the Meiteis being shifted to safer. So army fired and then peaceful evacuation. 4 people were killed, several people were injured.
From the cookie side.
But on the other side, 40,000 Indian soldiers are stranded, I would say, now in Manipur, doing nothing, watching and all this nonsense. Ambulance being burned. What a shame.
We cannot blame the Indian army because they are getting order from the top.
No, but I'm saying blame not army game, but who are making them shameful, no? Army is known for their action. Wherever there is anarchy, army is set in. But the moment army steps in, there is order, discipline. Gujarat was burning, over 1,000 people were killed. But still army was sent in, the violence stopped, the burning. Here what is happening? Even the house of the India's deputy foreign minister is set on fire. 21 guards are there. Why couldn't they fire? 21, it's not one or two, it's 21 security men are there, army men, and why couldn't they fire? It's a question. Of course, mob comes and you have to put an end to this mob violence. So the mob was, so people feel we can't do anything.
The mob violence is also targeting the BJP people.
No, I mean, that is, see, there are frustration at a different level. See, they expected a quick solution. No. What do the Meitei, if you take it from a Meitei perspective, what do they expect? They say their argument is one, the cookies are terrorists, they must be crushed. I mean, that is what they project. Cookies in the sense, then groups, whatever it is. Of course, it's not all Meiteis, I tell you, they are all peaceful. I have seen refugee camp where Meitei Christians and Cookie Christians live together peacefully.
That's what I was going to ask. In the Meitei group, they are only destroying the institutions like churches, pastoral centers. But on the other hand, we are not hearing any report regarding the killing of any Meitei Christians. Why is happening so?
So that is where, see, this is the very, I said, it is surgically executed. When you surgically execute, you take abundant caution or extraordinary caution. What is the caution? This is unpleasant, and if it goes out, it is become embarrassment for the ruling regime, because the government is accused of going after minorities, targeting Christians, Muslims, and all that. So they didn't want another third front. So they want to make sure the moment there is killing, in Indian media, it's like what you call vultures. Where there is bloodshed, they will come. If there is no blood, if a bird dies or something dies, the vulture won't come. But if there is blood, vulture will sense it. Like that. So the media is more like, I tell you very frankly, that's why I said that Reporters Sans Frontiers. Because in India, media is moved by the number of deaths. So one person told me, you are fighting on Kandhamal. How many people were killed? I said 100. Oh, what is there? 2006 were killed in Delhi. So this kind of logic. So if there is violence, media attention will come. Then they will probe more. So chances are that this reality will come out. So they took caution, not to, because out of love for the Meitei Christians or anything, they took caution that doesn't come out in the public realm. That is very important. But there is an issue. Then secondly, I said a few Meiteis have become Christians, and they feel, of course, you are out to claim the heritage of the entire community, and when the people are leaving, that is an embarrassment for you. So you see the, what they call the honor killings. So
the Christian people are, not only the Christian people are leaving, in the Meitei, there are Muslims too. But why are they not targeting them?
This is what I said. The issue is, there are few, the number, but the Christian number is quite alarming. The number of Christians who are becoming, it has become quite widespread. And every number, so they thought maybe we use opportunity. That's why I said Hindutva agenda under the cover of the ethnic conflict. So with one shot, you kill not two birds, four birds. So that may be, there. But then, as you asked, why should BJP risk there? No, that is what is, when you are over-ambitious, you take several steps, that will go wrong. You cannot be, there is a limit to your ambition.
Overconfidence.
See, then they thought they got the Cookie Christians on side. So if you take confidence of the entire Meitei community, then we have a solid base in Manipur. So Manipur is for good, is like Gujarat. So Hindu nationalists must have thought this is perfectly under our control.
You are saying that for a Manipur state, they have risked all other states.
Not risk. No. They never expected. No. See, sometimes you do things without foreseeing the dangers. Now, what happened? So what happened is, I don't know if they are really foresaw that it will lead to this kind of bloodshed, this kind of lawlessness. Now, the problem is, it's beyond central government. In the sense, see, Home Minister means second in command of the Indian government. Amit Shah goes late, of course late. May 3rd, 4th, violence started. He goes to 25th, he is in Guwahati.
May 25th.
And he makes a statement, very strategic. I say, congratulate Amit Shah for that diplomatic statement. Because for one reason is, Amit Shah said, this has nothing to do with all those arguments. He said, this is because of a
High
court
court
order. It
order.
is he said court order.
Biren Singh has told the opposite.
That's the point I'm saying. So he said this is because of a court order.
Yes, yes.
Now next day, Biren Singh claims 50 terrorists killed, 40 killed, 30 killed. It's very funny because I put a Facebook post. One paper said 2, other said 23, other said 30, other 33. All quoting Chief Minister. How is it possible? Because they wanted to say so many have been killed that we are doing. That Meitei agenda is being done. That is what. But next day, one more day later, he said, this is not about
Court order.
yes, it is because of the
Illegal
ethnic
migrants.
conflict. So he is in fact challenging Amit Shah, right?
Okay.
I don't think no chief minister would have survived there, but for the confusion or the opportunism of the BJP national leadership, because you are defying the home minister publicly, and still he continues. That was a month ago, and then we have gone another 25 days more, but still continues. Some reports say he is defiant because he has come to, he feels himself as really big, maybe egoistic, in the sense, is an ego feeling that he has become the savior and protector of the Meitei community.
In the same way, in 2002, when the Gujarat riot happened, Modi was projected as the pride of the Gujarat.
exactly.
In the same way, Biren Singh is trying to project himself as the pride of the
Exactly.
Manipur group.
Meitei. So
Yes,
so in fact, I said in the program, he is a chief minister, not of Manipur now, but chief minister of the Meiteis. The cookies have been saying, social activists are saying, because as a chief minister, your bounden duty, holy duty is to restore law and order. And how to restore law and order? You must get the butchers behind bars. Though the butchers are roaming, there are no, no FIRs, no police system. Police don't have any arms. It has been looted. Government is not making an effort to get it. It is making a pathetic appeal to say, please return the snatched weapons. I mean, that is not sign of a healthy democracy. Now, there is a big debate in the worldwide about India is a big democracy, but what about the health of the democracy? Now, look at Manipur and look at, you call it a democracy? Autocracy won't allow. Why? So there is a failure. Now, this is an issue which drove that. I mean, of course, Manipur has happened, the violence has been there, the people are divided on ethical lines. We can understand. There is an issue, emotive issue.
For years,
but the
it is
duty of the state and for the good of the country, there should be restoration of law and order. Number one, this anarchy cannot allow to continue. The state, the state chief minister is adamant. What you do? Kick him out. You have alternative, 356, get a governor's rule and say we will not tolerate this nonsense, this kind of violence. What a news goes out from Manipur. A boy injured, a boy accidentally shot in crossfire, injured, and he's taken to hospital by his mother and auntie, and the ambulance is torched and all are killed. What a shame for the country. No, it reflects poorly. All those who make arguments are pro and con. So what should worry us? Put the strong arm of the law. Who is binding 40,000 army, manning like 2,000 square kilometers of the Imphal Valley, from keeping quiet and watching us helpless puppets? Who has made the Indian army puppets in Manipur? Now, this is what concerns me as a journalist, as an Indian. These politicians are not concerned with morality or justice or truth. What is convenient, what is politically expedient for the ruling party. So that is what BJP is toying with the idea. Now, what they feel, if they sack Biren, what will happen? They will lose the Meitei support also. Maybe someone else will come up. So maybe they will take a different shape. So BJP gets rootless. Then they also know they have already created a lot of enemies. They lays the hornet's nest because the Sabka Saath has gone to dust. Sabka Saath is no more there. So, all those who tribal outfits, like even in Nagaland, Naga parties or Kuki parties, Arunachal or wherever, who has flocked under the BJP umbrella. That's what I would say. Not called the BJP party, the BJP under the BJP umbrella. But when they find the wind is too strong, they will leave the umbrella and take a safer shelter somewhere else. So it is quite possible that they know the moment the army is sent to what they call the Kuki areas, they are armed, few to their areas, then BJP will be inviting more trouble because they know the BJP governments in Nagaland will become Congress overnight. That's what happened earlier, especially in Arunachal.
Yes,
It is overnight.
Overnight, yes.
Except the chief minister was isolated and then so this kind of dramas will repeat. But anyway, I think tell you in practically in one sentence, BJP has bitten more than it can chew. Now it will have to throw up something in the end.
Regarding the destruction of the church, there is a possibility that there was a spontaneous reason behind these attacks? Because I am asking this question because previous days there was a hate speech from a pastor named Jayananda against the Sanamahism.
Yes.
Also a Swami named Ramananda has given a hate speech against the Christian community there. So, is this possible that these two hate speeches result into a spontaneous action?
No, if that is the kind of is that, see, imagine the cookies are 100% Christian, the Nagas are 100% Christian. Together they are 43%, 43% of Manipur's population. Okay. So quite a large.
Okay.
They could have created a lot of trouble.
Okay.
But then, I mean, there was nothing of that sort.
Okay.
The thing is, of course, this pastor is atrocious. Should have never done that.
Okay.
And he was threatened like anything.
Okay.
And some called for his head and all that. He has gone into hiding and he has unconditionally apologized. But he has not resurfaced. He knows if he comes out, you will be finished. Okay. So he has gone into it. That issue is like an individual kind of a thing. I don't think that is the reason why all these churches were destroyed. No. Then it would have been Christians. You got it? Okay. See that? So see that is they discussed that element with people. Okay. Of course, I tell you, this is where the communal harmony destroyed. Now there's many people doing it. Okay. There are Christians do, Muslims do. Now, for example, let me give an example. What Prime Minister Modi did in Karnataka on the election day, he said, when you go to the polling booth, you must press the voting button and say, Jai Hanuman. Is that the Prime Minister should do? Is it a communal? Does it promote harmony? Does he make him the Prime Minister of the country or a Prime Minister of the Hindu lobby? No, this is where you make a mistake. So you have to see the pastor's statement in that context. Of course, Prime Minister drew criticism, but nobody called for his blood or and all that. But I mean, that's fine. Let's leave it. But the point I'm saying is that what the pastor has done is atrocious. That's the way, atrocious. Should have never. See, whatever be your faith, you should never demonize the other. This is my faith. Okay, fine. But you have no right to demonize the other faith. Okay. Whoever does it, whether it is a Christian pastor or a Muslim cleric or a Hindu, you have seen the kind of controversies were generated, no? Some other people. So these are what they call there's a communal and provocative. So this should be avoided in any healthy democracy.
Before the May 3rd also, there were a lot of burning issues in Manipur. Especially the Biren Singh government has taken a strong action against the forest encroachment, also against the migrants. So why cookies feel so offensive about that actions? Actually, the migration, the illegal migration is a fact, right? Because Myanmar, we have a porous border between the Manipur and Myanmar. So the population in hilly area is growing unnaturally. So the illegal migration, the Biren Singh government is taking action against the illegal migration, also taking action against the forest encroachment. Why the Kuki people feel so offensive regarding those actions?
I don't think it is it's offensive or not. But my problem is this migration is a political subject. Okay. Migration is a political subject. You know, I used to live in Delhi all the time. So they say the Bangladeshi Muslims in Nizamuddin and all that, Delhi. You know, that was been a constant sore point, debate. So there might be some, but is it true to that extent? Now there are both are blaming each other. So, but this has become the national narrative. That is, my point is, Manipur has been, the ethnic issues are there. There have been fights between Kukis and Meiteis and all that. Wherever there is a border, and if life is better on one side, there is chances are that people will migrate. It is a fact. Secondly, as I mentioned in the beginning, the Kukis are what they call a coalition of different tribes, more than 9 tribes. Their counterparts are in Mizoram, They are in what you call Myanmar and all that. So there will be migration. That is a fact.
The problem of the
No. But this is the point. No authentic study has to be done on that. What is the level of migration? Now, for example, one BJP MLA told Karan Thapar is one of the finest journalists in India, that this migration has gone so much, the cookie has gone from, said 14% to 27%. And when he did an interview with the cookie leader, he said, I was told by the BJP MLA that this has gone, but it is not a fact. It is only 14% to 17%. So there is exaggeration. Now my problem is, when Manipur is in darkness without internet, no authentic defense is coming, the narrative of the Hindu nationalists is being filled in the national media. So that is why these have become so prominent, and say they have got, so these terrorists have got the latest sophisticated weapons and all that. Now, naturally, terrorists will weapon. I'm not saying that it is
there
not.
is allegation
The
that they
point
were-
is, a narrative has been imposed on the nation. The narrative of the Meitei Hindu nationalists have been imposed on the nation. So some of these reports, I would say, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. You cannot say absolute truth. Of course, the nation must know, as Arnab Goswami said, but we should have a system. Now, what is happening in the country? All the autonomous system, the National Human Rights Commission is there. It has not issued a statement on Manipur when it is burning. Why? Why? You see, this is the what I call the systematic dilution of these constitutional watchwords. National Human Rights Commission was set up in 1993 with the mandate that for better protection of human rights. Better protection of human rights. Chairman has to be a former Chief Justice of India. Only a Chief Justice of India could be appointed as the chairman. Now, what is the Modi government has done? They got a pet judge, is very infamous. I don't want to say, there is plenty of about him. Justice Verma. Now, what is he doing when Manipur is burning? He could have gone there, no? As a
human rights watchdog is happening in limelight.
I'm saying, if he has any constitutional duty, a sense of constitutional propriety, if you are getting a fat salary, government facilities, as a chairman of an autonomous commission, he should visit Manipur, no? Why can't he visit Manipur? The same with the Kandhamal, there is a similar. It never issued a press release on Kandhamal. You know, there are cases at a sister, somebody told me, I've seen it. When an auto rickshaw driver lost 2 fingers in an accident, NHRC ordered compensation. But when people are being like stray dogs, openly killed, NHRC keeps eyes shut. There is something. So we feel there is a political agenda which is being hidden, covered up in many levels. Now that is not good for the health of the Indian democracy. I think that should worry more than this called the taking up all the propaganda arguments and all that. What everyone should think about is, how can we end this bloodshed, the anarchy and the lawlessness? We are a democracy. What is the image that goes out to the world? That is why now discussion is, when Modi was Prime Minister, Modi is visiting US. What is the big question in the US media? The stock price is the health of Indian democracy. No, that should worry us. Manipur shows what is wrong with Indian democracy, right? Political ambivalence, political expedience. So whatever, even it is that famous dictum, no, when Rome was burning, Nero was fiddling. So that's a sad state of affairs. I think Indian democracy has to recover its lost phase by restoring peace and order in Manipur. It's not easy. The division is complete. I said it's terrible.
There is an allegation that regarding the poppy cultivation against the Kuki people there.
No, that's what I'm saying. See, these are things, there are elements, of course. And it's a fact that, it is a fact that poppy cultivation may be there in the hills, because inaccessible areas, people with some planning, business mind, and good traders connections. But it is said people of different ethnic divide are involved, invested in this trade. Of course, it's easy money. Drug is its margin is huge. So it is there. But there should be effort. But to brand it communalist, in the communal in the sense, this is on one community or that is not the way. I think Because Chief Minister has played into the Meitei anger and ego. Why? He said these cookies are dangerous. Now, his tweets are, a Chief Minister, should I have seen the tweets? I
So
tell
openly
you.
blaming the entire community, openly blaming.
Exactly. State should make strong action instead of propaganda. Propaganda is not help you. Propaganda is only to what you forward that to cheer up your lobby or your audience. It's like a football game, no? So the majority is there. So I want to cheer up my people. So I will do all kind of political. This is where politicians spoil the administration. Politicians forget when you are in power, your duty is governance. Governance is not for pleasing some one group or the other. Governance is for rule of law, the what you call the justice, all those issues. So this is where politicians make blunders. So maybe Chief Minister did a honest effort to, I don't know whether it is honest or how detailed because I cannot investigate, I'm not saying the places. But I'm saying if you gone after, they said they destroyed some poppy cultivations, I mean with the army and all that. Yes, it is true. But then you blame, and you make it a blame game.
Okay.
That they are wrong, we have done the right thing. Okay. So you inflate your ego, inflate the ego of your community, and that emboldens them. You know, you are inviting trouble.
But another point is that the BJP MLAs, both from the Kuki side as well as from the Meitei side, are also now, some of them are standing against the BJP leadership, BJP, the CM.
No, I see you have to make a big distinction there because see, even in the Impal Valley, there are pockets where it is not Meitei majority. There are different ethnic groups, and all that configurations are there. So some feel that BJP is, not on the wrong path. They feel Chief Minister is failed. Their main argument is Chief Minister has failed to control. That is absolutely right. They are also worried about their future. Because if this dispensation goes on like this, they are doomed. Right? And that is a reality. One BJP senior leader has been quoted by Hindustan Times yesterday saying that whatever we have gained from 2014, what is 2014? When BJP came to, first time BJP came into power in this northeast part. So they are going to lose by 2024. So there is big fear. So politician, the moment they find something is going wrong, survival instinct is there, they naturally raise points. But the fact is that, the fact of the matter, the ultimate conclusion is what is happening in Manipur is terrible for the people. They lost livelihood. Imagine there is absolutely, and there is a big issue. See, surrounded by hills, if you see the topographical map, it's all hills, mountains, and all the mountains are basically tribal areas. Both sides, Kukis and Nagas. And the main lifeline to Manipur is the Dimapur Imphal National Highway. And that is blocked with Kuki. Now, if the conflict drags on, the Meiteis also will suffer. I mean, you can shout what you call the nationalist slogans or your ethnic slogans, but ultimately poor people will suffer more. So who are the victims? The war. These are poor. Those who have money, they will manage somehow. Even if you petrol not available, they will buy it for 300 or 400. Poor man who runs an auto rickshaw, can he does? So it is ultimately, the more this bloodshed, this is a cruel joke on the poor. So it's a bounden duty of all those, including Prime Minister Modi, who remains static, his mouth shut. That's shameful because, Prime Minister Modi has been concentrated on Northeast for a big way.
Since 2014, he has been made, I think,
60 times. Not only that, I find it very funny how his system is covering it up. In one of the national dailies, national dailies, but Manipuri dailies, the PIB issued a press release. Prime Minister Modi's Man Ki Baat, MKB. MKB means Man Ki Baat. His monthly program, in which he has hailed Northeast several times. The government, the information wing of the government of India, the Press Information Bureau, is issuing a bunch of stupid press release to fool the people of Northeast, saying in the sense that, don't worry, even if the Prime Minister speaks, he has love for you.
People actually destroyed the radio after his
that is another thing. The point I'm saying is, they're trying to fool them, no? Okay. See, this is where democracy works. That is why now people are worried 2024 is a fear, because you can fool people for some time. Now, for example, in my book, who killed the Swami in the Kandhamal, that because the political fraud and all that, exposed this. And then nobody has come to challenge it because they know it is true. I have made a documentary called Innocence in Prison. It's in English, it's in Hindi, it's in Odia, it's in Malayalam and all that. Nobody has come to challenge it because they know that is a reality. And their worry is if people read or people watch, more will come to the reality. So they kept going. But in last sentence, they deliberately put that sentence. This is from Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. What he has said, whatever you gain by hatred becomes a burden in the end. It may give you some initial success, but in the end it becomes a burden. जो नफरत से जीता है भारी पड़ जाती है. BJP with its great, what you call, ambitious agenda, with its power. What power, because a lot of money is with the central government. They can allot crores, we call it thousands of lakhs of crores for development projects under the tribal welfare, because Northeast is full of tribal. It's very easy to go programs. And all the tribal parties who allied with the BJP, they are not joined BJP, you can say. I said, that is why I said, deliberately said, they have taken shelter under the BJP umbrella.
What's the attitude of BJP leadership towards these cookie people who came to the BJP umbrella after this conflict?
Attitude is displayed in a simple case. One is, let me complete that part. So, whatever you hate by hatred becomes a burden in them. Now, hatred also can be replaced by money power. If you use money power, in the society, somebody has money, he tries to influence people, but for how long? That's why in initial charm. After some time, people will throw, they say, this is nonsense. Now, BJP may face that music because they know Sabka Saath is gone to dust, dogs, that's finished. Now, and they feel there is a realistic threat to their identity, Christian identity. There are many of Christians. So BJP has bitten, that's why I said BJP has bitten more than it can chew in the Northeast. Then ultimately what happens, if you can't chew, you have to throw it. So that's okay. Now, as for the question, that's a very pertinent point you raised. It's very important. See, now BJP said we have made a deal, cookies are supporting us, fine. And you won the election. You got 7 seats of the 10 seats from the cookie areas. Now, BJP MLA, a senior MLA, a cookie leader, who is called I cannot pronounce exactly, his name is Walter. Walter is the surname. He is the tribal, earlier he was a minister, the same name, there was clarity, because the very sketchy reporting. National media also, because nobody has exact information. But the fact is, he is the advisor to the chief minister on tribal affairs. And tribal affairs is the main thing in Manipur, the key department. So he had gone to meet the chief minister on 4th. 4th May means within hours. To discuss these things perhaps. As he comes out of the chief minister's residence, he's attacked. He is attacked. The minister is attacked, his driver is killed.
In front of the chief minister office?
Yes. And then he is airlifted to Apollo Hospital in Delhi. He's surviving, he has lost his voice, his wife is crying, and both his son and the wife says, 50 days, nobody has come to visit us. Now, what is this? So what is the BJP's love for the cookies? Is it just political management, a few seats, and run the government show? I don't understand. How many BJP general secretaries, officials are there, Northeast people are, even Ranjan Singh, who got his house burned. He was in Delhi only, He's from Manipur, Imphal. He could have gone visited and, why? So what is this? It's pure political expediency, isn't it? It is not what I call a cemented friendship. It is not built on Hindutva ideology. It is on loose foundations. When you build something on loose foundations, it is sure that it will collapse in a matter of time. So Northeast is surely, see those drama, it may unfold. Its question is, how soon? That's okay.
The tribal people, we know that especially the Cookies and Nagas are, majority they are Christians.
Yes.
But the basic Christian ideology is to love each other. But we could see that there has been ethnic conflicts among these tribal people for many years. Many of them are headhunters even. Why it is happening so? They are Christians, their ideology is to love each other, but they are killing
I'm fighting on this ethnic conflict. The Cookies and Nagas have been notorious. Both are Christian. Now, I've seen a big leader in a Shillong assembly, we call a world kind of a global meeting was there. And he said, it's a shame. We are all, so people are speaking at the particular theological level, at the what they call the religious leadership level, it has been raised. Now this time, one young man showed me some lot of, you know how cookie villages have been attacked. His own cousin sister was killed and all that. Very, very awful videos. Then he said, but our people have been told that we should not kill. So I mean that because what he said, I'm saying, but I can only say. So he said the village defense committees have been told, don't kill, but you defend yourself. I mean, so gradually people are realizing that is always the history of the world. You know, in the earlier war rules, what were there? You kill and rape. Over the years, prisoners of war, and they are exchanged. So humankind has progressed a lot in this ethics, and it has changed. And these ethnic groups, this what I call the tribals, that particularly the mentality is for them it is primordial, that identity. Only other things come later. So this is where religious leaders have to make an effort. Tell them we are all human beings, children of the same God. Let us live in peace. It is a challenge for religions. If that's what people are doing, I think that awareness is growing. But let us hope things change better. The world becomes more peaceful, less hostile, and less inimical to each other.
One more personal question, Mr. Anto Akkara. Do you have any hatred towards the Sangha Parivar? Because there is allegations that many of your articles are reflecting anti-Sangha Parivar agenda.
It is anti-Sangha Parivar. See, I have been finest of Hindu friends. I have nothing against the Hindus. Sangha Parivar, you see, there is a problem. What is the Sangha Parivar core agenda? To make India a Hindu nation, one culture. So it doesn't respect plurality. I'm not hatred. I'm opposing. I will oppose. Because anything that preaches hatred and disharmony, how can you tolerate? It is Sangha Parivar, that word itself. So they will not accept. But the point is, it's the kind of language they speak. Now, for example, my document, big book, Google the Swami, they speak very unparliamentary language. Two cases I tell you. One person said, "Ab Vatican ka kutta hai." I'm on the Facebook. He is a senior lawyer. What kind of a debate is that? You are a dog of the Vatican. I mean, what I have to do with Vatican? I have nothing to do with Vatican. I mean, that's one. They don't even parliamentary language. Very unparliamentary language. Why? No, I think that is not Hinduism. Hinduism is logo samasta sukhino bhavantu. This country is Hindu. I respect Hindus. I got a lot of personal Hindu friends who have been working with me. In Kandhamal, you know what Kandhamal Hindus are saying? Hame ullu banaya. Meaning, we have been fooled. Who fooled them? Sangha Parivar. The Hindu nationalist leadership told them, Christians kill the Swami, go and kill the Christians. The idea was to have a huge bloodshed so that they can, Sonia Gandhi will be forced to dismiss the Orissa government. That is the political fraud. But Hindus have realized it, they have been fooled. So initially they were made to believe this, the kind of violence. So what is happening? I mean, look at this. This is how you hatred. See, the Sangha Parivar. Now, for example, take Sangha Parivar, is Ram Madhav. Ram Madhav, after this Sangha Parivar experiment, Sonia Gandhi didn't dismiss the Orissa government because intelligence agencies said this is to make Sonia Gandhi to dismiss the Orissa government, because RSS Sangha Parivar thought Sonia Gandhi is who? Is Pope's daughter to Christianize India. Papa ka beti hai, she has come to Christianize India. So she won't do, intelligence agency said the whole Kandhamal violence is to make her feel, because she is a Christian at heart, so she will be forced by, because Swami himself had said that Pope, Europe, US, Sonia Gandhi and Pope wanted to kill him. So this was all done. Everything went wrong. So, and I'm giving you very confidential, I never made it public, but I think time has come since you said that, who is spreading hatred? And that's what I'm saying. So, they brought out a book called Harvest of Hatred. Harvest of Hatred. See, only those people who, work on those lines can have such a headline for a book, international book, which was submitted to the US State Department. Harvest of Hatred. Now, who was harvesting hatred? Now, my problem is, it is published in the name of Michael Parker, but actual author is Brandon Parker. And I have got an email with me between the two where this Parker writes to Ramadhav saying, "You are rabid communalists. You are rabid communalists. How could you use a title like that? I didn't write that title." And this is what Sangha Parivar does. They try to harvest, they try to sow hatred and try to harvest hatred. But Gandhi has given them the real reply to that. He said, harvest of hatred will never succeed. Whatever you get by hatred becomes a burden in the end. See, to add to that, there are many, many instances of how Sangha Parivar, I think it is based, they spread what you call lies. You have seen in the media, there are many, many occasions. But I tell you one personal, very shocking one. In Kandhamal case, a young nun, 28-year-old nun was raped. It's like public rape. Two people standing her hands, third one raping, others clapping. Now, after that, she's taken out in a parade. So that director of the pastoral center where she was working with the father, Malayali priest, Father Thomas Chellan, they were taken in parade. He is in his underwear. The sister has only a piece of her sari on her body and they paraded through the market, the main road, Nogam road. And that is what happened. Then police comes and then this raped nun thought, if I go and sit among the police, it will be safe for me. Then somebody goes and pulls her up, slaps her. In front, police does nothing. Okay. And then senior officers reach and they take her to the police station and they take into the hospital. They conduct the rape test. Everything is done. Everything is documented. But Orissa police did nothing. Even Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, Sister Nirmala, the Mother Teresa's successor, on the fourth day she flew to Bhubaneswar and met Naveen Patnaik and said, I want you to investigate how the virginity of a young woman dedicated to life of prayer and service was grossly violated in public. Naveen Patnaik said, because Sister Nirmala is like less than 5 feet. Naveen Patnaik is more than 6 feet. So he bowed before her and said, certainly. But he must have put the letter into the wastebasket. Because nothing happened for 5 weeks. Police did nothing. So finally, N. Ram, the chairman of the Hindu group of companies, he came to know this. Naturally, anyone with a conscience will act. It is not because he hates anyone. It's because he feels the truth has been violated. So he sent his chief of bureau in Bangalore, from Parvati Menon, it was a serious day. She went there and she wrote a powerful story called a banner headline saying, Orissa police sleeps on nun's rape. When that report came, immediately there was a big story in a national daily. What was the story? It is Sangha Parivar particle. This is where the organizer Sangha Parivar network comes. It says, nun's rape is ecclesiastical afterthought. Meaning, this is cooked up by the church, it is not true. And then they are giving, this nun is not, it's a disgusting article written by a senior woman judge. So, feminism goes. A lady called Sandhya Jain, I am giving the name. She wrote that terrible article. Now, in Orissa, what happened? Of course, then this article must have seen, the Sangha Parivar has, amoeba-like networks, portals. When Mother Teresa is canonized, what do they say? Monster Teresa. See, how you dare do this? When Mother Teresa is canonized, Sangha Parivar outlets are saying, Monster Teresa. This is called hatred. But the government never does this sedition or what you call Article 143. Anyway, let us leave that part. So now in Orissa, Sangha Parivar groups are told to conduct protests. So they're carrying out street demotion, saying, what is the saying? This nun has defamed the Orissa police and he has brought ill shame to Hindu nationalists. This is not true. So the nun should be arrested. Now who is the culprit? No, this is what Sangha Parivar does. So this is why I said, when you are going out, when you are covering up, when you are try to destroy truth, you have to speak. So those who feel offended by this kind of nonsense can never be a fan of the Sangha Parivar. That is true. Now because I have in my book that Who Killed the Swami, there is a chapter called Saffron Truth Factory. Now you know Truth Factory means what? You are manufacturing truth. And I think their greatest hero must be, I mentioned there, Hitler's propaganda minister called Joseph Goebbels. He says, if you repeat a lie 1,000 times, gradually people will come to believe it. This is what has been going on in the country. So very sad, but our motto is Satyameva Jayate. And if you believe in Satyameva Jayate, you cannot have to oppose the Sangha Parivar. More than that, truth, Amit Shah has offered, as Home Minister, 10 lakhs for those killed in Manipur. State government has offered 5 lakhs, that is 15 lakhs. Now, how many of those who've been killed, their families will get it? The death list. You see, this is when people are killed, and if it is not documented, is it not a covering up? Is not. So cookies have fled, and then many have been killed, and nobody knows who is alive because some are left to Mizoram, some are in refugee camps in Churtanpunda area, some are in Dimapur, some are in Guwahati. So it will take them ages. So there is no FIR, there is no proof. So see, this is where I said there is all cocktail. When you spread lies, there is untruth, there is injustice. So let us wake up to what Tagore said, that country, let the country awake to a country of truth and justice.
Thank you, Mr. Anto Akkara, for spending your valuable time. Continue your fight for justice and truth. All the wishes.
Thank you. Thank you.